Hey everyone, Future Ethan here. Today we're talking about the Tanto blade for the FlipForge edit. I just wanted to add this part to the video to say that there have been changes made to this that should address some of the problems that I bring up in this video, but I still wanted to upload it because I think it's important to get my impressions of this specific model that I got and what I think about it out there. Anyway, back to past Ethan. Enjoy the video. What's up everyone? Welcome back to Blade Bias. Today I'm back with the FlipForge edit, but we've got the tactical Tanto blade on it. Thank you, car. Thank you for going off exactly as I started filming this video. Hopefully you guys can't hear that too much, and if you can, sorry about that, but there is nothing I can do. Jeep owners, am I right? Anyway, this is the tactical Tanto variant of the blade for the FlipForge edit, and it is something. I was personally very excited to get this blade on the edit. In fact, as soon as I finished recording the unboxing video, you can see I've got my little workshop set up. I took off this blade, I put on this blade, and I changed it to the smaller weights rather than the larger ones to lower the handle bias because there's not as much weight in this blade. And you can really feel that. This is a very handle biased experience, and not in the way of like, oh, it's like a Kraken trainer where it just has a lot of handle bias to it, and you can still flip it really well and it's still like really good. It still flips good, don't get me wrong. Like, this is not a bad flipper at all, but it's inconsistent and very shaky. If I had to describe the tactical Tanto FlipForge edit in one word, it would be shaky. Because the whole time that you're doing this, the momentum is shifting. It feels like the momentum is shifting between two different points and constantly shaking back and forth between those 2 points. Because there are some times where it flips really well and you get like a really consistent like underhand thumb roll over it like I just did. And then there's other times where you do like this and the momentum shifts while it's in your hands and it shakes itself loose. That little extra burst as it comes around, it slips right out of your hands and it just doesn't feel the best. Basically the whole time you can kind of see it in this. There's a point where it just doesn't smoothly go through. Specifically when this handle is about right here, the blade shifts and it just doesn't feel smooth. And I think you can really see this if I throw an aerial on it. It just kind of shakes throughout the whole aerial. And that is really what you're getting the whole time that you're flipping the tactical Tanto blade. Now, I'm not exactly sure what's causing this. I spoke to FlipForge and they seem to think that it is it's a problem with the tip weight, which it could be. But even with no weights, like taking these screws out completely, doesn't exactly fix the problem. And in fact, I'll do it right now just so I can really... Well, that's unfortunate. Magnetic screwdrivers, they sometimes screw you over a little bit. No pun intended. Anyway. Where did that screw go? There it is. Okay. Anyway. So this is completely no weights in it, which you would think, okay, that's going to fix the handle bias quite a bit. Which it does. But there's still just that shakiness to it. Like, this actually flips pretty well, except for Chaplin's, because there's no weight to keep anything going. Also, fans peter out pretty quickly because there's not too much momentum in the end of the handles anymore. And this does fix the balance. Like, this feels fairly neutral. But there's still that shakiness to it. And it's vastly unsatisfying to flip. Now, don't let me steer you away from the tactical Tanto blade. This doesn't flip badly by any means. As you can see, I'm still flipping it just fine. But when you compare it to something like the Tay Flipper or even the Diode, there's this sense of consistency that both of those have with the weight. And this is something I want to get into when I review the Calico, because that's where my main problem with the Calico lies. is because there's so much weight focused in specific parts of the handles, it just doesn't feel uniform and consistent. If you flipped a Calico, I think you know what I'm talking about. The Tay flipper feels very uniform and very clean. And the Calico has just this weird thing about it where it just doesn't feel like, it doesn't have that same consistency. And I think the tactical Tanto blade feels the same way mostly for me, especially with the weights in. Without the weights right now, it's actually pretty good. With the weights in, it's just pretty handle bias and kind of shaky. So if you like handle bias, go for it. But I think the implementation of the tactical Tanto blade could be a little better here. Specifically, you can point out things like the bite handle indicator, or the bite indicator on the blade does absolutely nothing. I'm doing a bite handle chaplain, I don't feel that indicator. And you're probably thinking, what? How do you not feel that indicator? It's awesome. But the thing is, I'm chaplaining on this very large area under here. And I've spoken to FlipForge, and they said that the whole reason that that can't be lower is because of like some design with a pinsless. I think they would do a much better job of explaining that than I can. But that doesn't change the fact that the bite indicator isn't doing anything. A bite indicator like this should be catching on my finger and the knife should be flying away, or I should be feeling it, but I don't feel anything. So the tactical Tanto blade, while I think it looks cool, it's my favorite looking. And if you take all the weights out, it doesn't flip that bad. It even doesn't flip that bad with the weights in it. But there's just this little inconsistency to it that makes it not my favorite thing ever. Now, since the Balisong community really likes to fixate on not my favorite thing ever, I'm going to reiterate, it's not bad by any means. If this was all that I had, the only plastic Balisong I had, I would really like it. I would love carrying this thing around every day. But it's just little experiences like that with the tactical Tanto blade specifically. And let me also reiterate, this is not about the edit in general. I need to spend more time with the crescent blade before I really make that call. But the Tanto blade specifically is the sort of thing where if you don't have any other plastic Balisongs, you're probably going to really enjoy this. If you do have any other plastic Balisongs, you might prefer those a little bit more. Because yeah, with these weights in it, it gets away from you more. It has this weird changing of momentum that just doesn't feel great to flip. And it kind of just gets beaten out by other Balisongs like the Calico Tay flipper. I don't know about the cycloid. I don't have the cycloid with me currently. But yeah. Tactical Tanto blade. Good. Certainly looks amazing. But not my favorite. I think there are, as I've pointed out, some improvements to be made here. If you could increase the tip weight, make it feel a little more uniform, and fix that weird shakiness in your hands that make you lose track of it if you try to flip too fast or even too slow, I guess, then I think you have a really good flipper on your hands. But certainly not my favorite plastic Balisong. So those are my thoughts on the tactical Tanto blade. I will be taking this off and moving back to the crescent blade because from what I remember of flipping it in the unboxing video, flipped a bit better than this. So yeah, extra handle bias, not my favorite thing in the world, kind of shaky, kind of inconsistent. Well, it doesn't deserve that. You don't deserve that. Come on, give yourself a little bit more credit here, bud. You're not complete garbage. Anyway, I'm done rambling. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.